What's up, former party people? This is Jerry, you know, the one who actually combs his hair on the A is for Alcoholic podcast. Now, if you're finding value in listening to the AIFA podcast every week and you want to support sharing it with others, we invite you to become a sustaining monthly or per show contributor. Go to patreon.com/AIFA. It's super easy and it only takes a quick moment. It's about as easy as buying one of those pre-cooked space chickens from the grocery store, taking it outside, giving it a big old kiss, and kicking it into traffic. Why would you do that? Anyway, you do you, and I'll do me. Again, go to patreon.com/AIFA. And with that, people, let's start the show.
A is for Alcoholic is a program about recovery. My name is John, and I'm an alcoholic.
And my name is Jerry, and I'm an alcoholic.
Join us as we go through the alphabet of alcoholism, one letter at a time. Welcome back to the A's for Alcoholic podcast. My name is John. I'm here with Jerry.
Bam, 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 bam.
This will be the final show of 2019.
Right. This is like way before New Year's Eve, though.
Yes.
Not way before.
No, but it's enough.
4 days.
Yeah.
Wait, how many days are in December? 30 or 31?
31.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we got a little time.
So Z is for, this is our final show. Z is for That's All, folks.
That's all, folks.
Because
2020 entering into a new decade. That's all, folks.
How do you feel about the new decade? Does it really...
I didn't even fucking realize we were finishing a decade until I saw like a listicle on YouTube and went, oh shit, we're finishing a decade. And that was like maybe a week ago. It didn't even occur to me.
Well,
that I was like, oh, right. Wow.
But do you feel like, I guess the decades haven't really had a feel since...
Well, from 2001 to 2010, in 2010, I wasn't like, we're finishing a decade. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting here being like, it's been 10 years since 2000. No, Jerry, it's been 20 years since 2000. Because I was like, man, wait. Because I started tattooing in 99. Damn. I don't know. I don't know, man. Time just passes, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking, gee, we finished a decade. I was thinking, gee, we finished the fucking 12-pack. We need to go get some more.
You know what exactly. I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah, same here. 2010, I think my daughter was... born, yeah, and I was just like tying it on because I had a baby and was like, that shit's hard.
You spent half the decade sober though.
I've spent almost half the decade. Half of this decade, yeah, I spent sober. You're right. 2014, right? Oh,
that's
wow,
pretty cool.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I spent 4 years sober. But how do you feel about, like, I don't know, the last year? For me, has been a big year. I don't know if it's just been. I mean, I know that you've had a few different big changes. You moved into that house, and I remember that was kind of a
God. That sucked, man. The new house is rad, but the move was hard. Yeah.
And what else? You had a snowstorm.
Yeah, hopefully won't get one this year, but yeah, power went out for 5 days. I mean, I started this whole diet, this whole eating, I think in. Oh, shit. It's been in April. It'll be 2 years, I guess. Yeah.
Has it been that long?
I think. I don't.
Yeah, it must have.
Yeah, it must have. Yeah, because it wasn't this last April. This last April, I celebrated a year of like
2018.
In a specific way. Yeah. Yeah, it's 2018.
Because we started doing this thing, and before we started recording it, we started talking like 2017. Because I remember talking to you from Hawaii when I went on that trip.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're like, hey, buddy, I'm in Hawaii. And you've like held the laptop out at the window, and you're like, see, like, prove it to me. And I was like, that's fucking cool, man. Yeah. Like, you're in Hawaii right now with your girlfriend, and you're not shit-faced. That's amazing.
Right. But I mean, for me, this like last year has been fucking huge. I mean, you've seen it in my just weight loss alone, and I know I'm probably gonna not stop talking about this, so I'm going to stop talking about how I'm not going to stop talking about it. But it's
right, exactly.
Losing 80 pounds in 12 months is no fucking easy feat.
No,
and one thing, and also training to run a half marathon. Like, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I watched a couple of YouTube videos and, you know, picked up some pointers here and there and read a couple of books. You know, I didn't have anybody walking me through it. You know, and just even learning how to like land right was fucking this the whole thing about like, don't land on the ball of your feet, don't land on the heel, you kind of do it flat and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I ran 13 miles in the desert, Jerry.
I love that you read a book on how to run.
I read a couple of them.
That's
actually.
funny. Like, you just read some books that...
So I read...
YouTube I can see because I can learn visually, but just reading a book, like... And also reading a book, I learned how to do, like, the thing that comes naturally to us as, you know what I mean? Being, at one point in our lives, being, like, the middle of the food chain. You know, you had to know how to run. Yeah.
Well, there's 3 books I would suggest to anybody who is interested in running. Is Born to Run, which is fucking awesome. It's an awesome adventure story. Finding Ultra, which is the Rich Roll story about how he did fucking crazy ultra marathons. And then the other one, which I know that you've read, Mishka Shubaly's I Swear I'll Make It Up to You. Yeah. Which that was the one that really inspired a lot of change this year. I would say 3 things. I would say that my girlfriend's been a fucking huge supporter and fan of mine for as long as we've been together, but in the last year. Your weight loss and your exercise routine has, you know, at the very least, the idea of changing my relationship with food. That
right. Well, you're like, if fucking Jerry can do it, Jesus.
And I know that's...
If Jerry can do it, I can do it. Which isn't a slight on either of us.
Well,
I'm just saying, like,
but that's
dude, if
kind
that
of,
guy can take care of himself, so can I, you know.
And that's, I guess I don't mean it, but that thought does cross my mind. I'm like, fuck, Jerry can do it, I can do it, right? You know? And then,
right, yeah.
In more of a supportive way than, you know,
of course,
you're a fucking loser, and, you know, because you're not.
Right. You're like, that loser ass can fucking... You know what I mean? Like, get down with 1,700 calories a day for an entire year and then maintain that, you know? Like, right.
And when I think about, like, not just when I started walking last August and then started counting calories in November, I'm just scared that's when, like, shit got real, was, like...
Yeah, because you were walking a lot in August, and then...
I was walking, but I was still eating fucking I was walking 300 calories a day, and I was probably eating 3,000, so I was not in any sort of deficit. But and then the whole ice cream fiasco in fucking February, where I was, you know, eating pints and pints of ice cream, and then found the Halo Top and trying to like eat cucumbers all day so I could crush like 3 pints of Halo Top at night.
That's so much Halo Top.
That's a
lot, dude. That is excessive.
Listen, man, I had to figure it out. And you know, like you were talking before last week, whatever, about like pecan pie, and you know, do you feel like your relationship with food has changed, or are you just I have rules and I have to follow them, and if I don't follow them, then I will fail? Or has your genuine like relationship with food changed in the last year?
My concept has changed, and so I don't know if my relationship goes through really mild changes, and so that's why I have to still uphold my concept of it, because I'm looking at it more like fuel that I need.
Right.
But it's also, it can taste good. It's fuel that tastes good that I need, that brings some pleasure, but I also need this so I don't have low blood sugar, or I don't fucking faint or whatever. But I also get caught up in patterns really easily, so
and not wanting
I have to be really aware of it, because I do get caught up in the pattern, just like I said last podcast, like with alcohol, like same thing, except with alcohol the pattern's a lot more severe. But with food, I can see myself definitely going down that route again, where I start slipping here and there, and kind of unhealthy habits, or not tracking what I'm doing, or being aware of what I'm doing, or burning enough during the day to compensate for what I'm taking in. You know, I'm having a really lax attitude towards that, except I still work out all 5 days a week because I enjoy it. I don't like it when I start it, but when I'm done, I feel really good. And I get it now, like the runner's high, the high off of exerting yourself. Because I do notice, like, Yeah, I will fucking be mad the whole time I'm doing it, or like halfway through doing it, I'll like still be irritated that I have to do it, and I'm running the same fucking route I always run. It's always the one of 4 different routes that I run, and as soon as I get home and like take my shirt off, I'm like, oh, like I just feel it all collapse on me.
Yeah.
But my relationship with food is similar to my relationship with alcohol, but not as destructive. It's just a slower burn. The booze goes really hot and fast.
Takes
But
the
like
house
pecan
down.
pie. If I'm not careful, I will fucking fuck a pecan pie up.
So
But now I just do my one little slice and kind of estimate its weight, and then
Yeah.
say, okay, this is how many calories from the back of the Caro syrup container. Because my mom made the pecan pie. My mom's a baker, and that's like my favorite thing for her to make. So her and my dad roll up with 4 bags of frozen tamales, and this big fucking bag of this it's an Italian mincemeat pie that my grandmother made every Christmas when we were little kids. It's called cabezzone. And so they show up with this Italian pork mincemeat pie and this fucking 2 bags of fucking tamales. So it's just all fucking masa and fucking... Well, pork's not bad. Pork's pretty low cal, but it's all meat. It's all bread,
Right.
And I ate it, but I had to be on top. I had to be really aware while I was eating it. So I'm like, all right, I'll give myself a little bit of freedom. But the whole time, my brain is like, count this, count this, count this. We went, my Olive, they were like, Olive, what do you want for lunch? And Olive's like, I want a steak. And we were at the mall because we took her to get her picture with Santa Claus. My daughter loves steak. Mm-hmm. And so we took her to the fucking Texas Roadhouse to get a steak,
Nice.
right? Yeah, 1,200 calorie meal, like, fucked my day. Like, that night, I was like, well, I guess I'm having a glass of water and an apple for dinner. But my mom kept calling it the Texas Outhouse, which I thought was hilarious. And not on purpose. Like, It wasn't like this moment of comedy. It was just my mom being like, so why are we going to the Texas Outhouse again? And I just thought it was so funny. But anyhow, this is like turned into a 10-minute podcast about food.
Well, but I want to just stick with me for a little bit here, because part of that, when I ran that half marathon, and the night that I finished it, they gave us this big box of fucking snacks. And
Right.
I remember I was staying at the Airbnb, and we're not supposed to eat in the rooms or whatever, and I kind of collapsed in the bed, and I was just like, I ate every fucking cookie and wafer and like bar, and I just
Right.
ate everything, and I didn't count a thing. I was like, you know what, man? I don't care. I don't have the energy, the brain capacity.
Well, you ran a half marathon, dude.
Right.
You don't have to count it, yeah.
So I did that, and I feel like after I came back, and then it got cold, and I started to be a little more lax on, when I reset my calorie counter, and it said, well, you can have an extra 400 if you're this, that, and the other. And after I lost the weight and all this different stuff, and so I felt like I was kind of set back. Now, I don't know if that's true. It's only been 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm probably, again, just expecting more results that are on their way. But I still have this sort of like, am I eating enough? Am I eating too much? I don't know. Like, you gotta weigh yourself. That's when you see it. Mm-hmm. You gotta, once it becomes the trend that you're starting to stack it up again, then you're like, oh, I gotta make adjustments. That's where I'm at right now. Yeah. Because
I'm starting to little by little kind of gain a little bit more. So now I have to make this adjustment now. And because even my calorie counter was like, oh yeah, you're good at 2,200 calories. And then, now I'm like, I don't know, about 4 pounds heavier than I normally am. So I'm like, no, I'm not all good. Y'all fucked the math up. So now I got to like readjust and drop 200 off every day and see what happens there. This is that fucking C is for calorie counting, dude.
But and the other thing is it got cold out, and so all of a sudden I didn't go as far as I used. In the summertime I would go run fucking eight miles.
Bitch, dude. Winter's a bitch, dude.
And so it's just cold, and we're supposed to stay inside, eat sugar and fat, and stay warm, right?
You getting that Peloton bike where you like your husband's like fucking
weird,
like Rashida's just like, I got you a bike, fatty, and you're like. And then you're just making her a video blog the whole time. You're like, I'm getting healthier every day, Rashida. Yeah. What is this thing with you and Rashida and The Irishman? Did you guys watch The Irishman?
Oh, we did.
It's a good movie, wasn't it?
She
That's how
didn't
you
like
guys
it
do,
at
you
all.
little hand puppets. I loved it, but she doesn't seem like type to be into gangster movies anyway.
She
I don't know
loves
what Rashida would
Goodfellas.
be.
She loves
Really?
Goodfellas, but she just didn't like The Irishman. She thought she was just like, it's too long and all they're doing is talking, and like there's just I just felt like I don't think that it needed to be 3.5 hours. Did it?
It didn't. No, but Scorsese was like, "This is it. I'm gonna give it a last go."
And why are they saying that? Like, they're not dead.
He's gonna start making Marvel movies, dude.
No, he's not.
No, I know. I'm just fucking with you.
But so I think that I don't think it needed to be 3.5 hours.
Nah.
And the de-aging shit was weird. They looked weird. I don't know.
So what? You got plans for this next year? Are you the type of guy who makes plans? Do you do resolutions and plans and shit?
So I think I'm gonna have some goals. I don't think I'm gonna make any resolutions. I mean, my resolution is to continue on, and I'm gonna make a goal for find another race to get involved in, and do that. Maybe maybe a full marathon. I don't know yet. I want to do stuff like I want to get out of debt. I don't think that I can do that in a year, but I am certainly going to be more aggressive. You know,
Right.
I have in the last year, and in fact for the last 2 years, you know, that I've been working a lot less and trying to put this podcast out, the other 2 podcasts, all the other creative work that I've been working on, and the book, the A's for Alcoholic book, that is still, I have been trying to find some way to create. So if anybody out there knows of any publishers, let me know. So I've been working a lot less. So I think what I'm going to do, and this is a weird balance. Like, how do I follow my dreams and fucking still, but I got to go work full time tending bar somewhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah.
I don't know. And they're like, you know, you hear these things like, don't have a plan B, man. You just got to go and do it. And you got to burn all
That's
your
bullshit.
bridges.
No, fuck that noise. I don't know what books you listen to, but you need to throw them away. You need to burn those books. Because that's ridiculous, man. Everybody needs a safety plan. Can you imagine if you had no safety plan for your fucking sobriety? Like, you had no backup, like, or at least an alternate way, an alternate
Support.
way out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's your backup, right? Or just someone to talk to. Like, you're just like, I'm going to blaze this fucking trail on my own and hang out in every bar and just fuck booze in the face. I don't need it. And some people are like that. More power to you. Good luck. Like, I don't even mean that sarcastically. I don't know. I'm a safe guy, though. I'm all seatbelts now. I remember writing a poem about how I didn't want life to be all fucking seatbelts. And now I'm, like, all about seatbelts. Like, just in case, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that that's probably it. I want to do another race, and I want to be very aggressive in getting the credit card debt that I have been floating with for the last couple of years.
It's a good plan. You either do or you don't. That's the other thing. You know,
Yeah.
just don't make it more, and you should be all right.
Right.
That's the other thing that comes with sobriety too, though, is that you're working less, but you're spending less too, though.
Dude, I am so... And also with just changing the way that I eat, I just cook at home all the time.
Like, what is even a fifth now? Like a fifth of whiskey now? Like, I don't even. It's probably the same,
It's
right?
about
It's
the
not like,
same. I don't think booze prices
It doesn't
have
go
really...
up like cigarettes.
No.
I know cigarettes now, like in Oregon, are like $8 a pack, and you got to be 21 to buy them too. Now,
Yeah.
but
I don't think so. I think I could still... I mean, I haven't... How would I know? I haven't been in a liquor store.
well, because I know
but-
you've bartended some private gigs.
Oh, yeah,
so I
that's
thought you
true.
had to go out and buy some booze.
You know what? That's true. I was in a liquor store last spring.
Right.
I bought $800 worth of booze in the liquor store last spring.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most I ever spent. And so yeah, it's about the same. I mean, you know, I don't remember what it was, but like
I remember a fifth of Evan Williams Black Label or green. I think the green was like $12 and the black was like 16 in Seattle. And then I got to Arizona and it was like 8 and 13.
At that point,
A
like
day.
Evan Williams green and black, like come on, man, you like
Right? So I'm like, oh, $13 a day. I spend that on lunch. Yeah, but also that lunch
isn't killing you.
doesn't come with any negative side effects. It's not like I'm going to fucking eat 2 chili dogs and crash my car.
Oh, you know what? Here's another resolution or a goal. I think that I'm gonna start writing more on the A's for Alcoholic blog. that I started last year, and I think I had like 4 posts, and doing something a little more regular. And I'm always concerned that it's not long enough or good enough or any of those things. You know what I mean? When you're creating something. So I think I'm just going to do it. And then I wanted to ask you, so this girl that I know up in Seattle, and she is in recovery as well, and she was trying to put together like this writing project, and she asked me, and I'll forward you the email, but she was looking for basically like an essay or an article or something on something you have achieved in sobriety, not necessarily sobriety itself,
right?
But something you achieved because of it.
Send it over. If she wants it from me, I'll write her something.
I think she was trying to, pass it along to a few different people and put something together.
As long as I don't have to read it out loud and start crying again, I'm good. Remember we did the open letter to alcohol, and oh man, that was rough, man. And then like that's a trip. I was thinking about this the other day, how I like fucking broke down on this podcast and how I grew up like being ashamed of it, like of crying. It was a fucking really weird thing. I was thinking about it, like right, and how like it just made me get into the idea of like gender roles and like what is socially acceptable between the genders, because I was raised with that really strong gender role of like boys don't cry, that's a sign of weakness. And I've met women who are like, I hate to see a dude cry, like I can't fucking handle it,
right?
And I've met other women who are like, it's cool or whatever, but I think mine wasn't really based on another sex's perception of me and my masculinity. It was more of my own internalized masculinity. And like how like even when we were both reading, I'd like break up and I'd have to stop because I didn't want anybody to hear me sob because it was like embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? It's really weird. I was thinking about this while I was running the other day. I was thinking about that going, dang, dude, like you totally fucking cried on a podcast. But I mean, I also have cried in bars sitting next to people. So,
And I think the difference is that I don't think that when I cried while I was drinking heavily that there was very little real catharsis.
Right.
It was just
and there's no sincerity in it either. It was just this like,
it would just be this outpouring for no reason. Like, oh no, everybody hates me and I hate myself, and
right, or life has just been so hard and everything's been so hard and poor me and I've experienced this trauma or this hard thing and I can't talk about it unless I'm loaded,
But that was a heavy episode, man. I remember that, like putting that, writing it down, and then you doing yours and me doing mine, and like it was like I think that's really important, and I think that anybody listening who's looking for a tool to use to kind of get through with alcohol, like writing a goodbye letter.
I think it's a really good idea. I think it was cathartic to me. It really was, man. I really did push out, and I think that's why I was like breaking down because it's hard. I think, I was gonna say it's hard to explain, but if people are listening to this, they're alcoholics as well, I imagine. But they understand. I drank longer than I've been sober, and the relationship I had with alcohol was profound, incredibly profound, and it like affected every aspect of my life. And it still does to this day, because I wouldn't be sitting here talking on the day after Christmas on a podcast about it if it didn't affect my life in a profound way. I wouldn't be going to these meetings in church basements if it were no big deal,
Right.
So for me to tell it goodbye and try to let it go, is that permanent? I don't know. Like I keep saying, oh, this is uncertain. All I got to do is, I can't even make a resolution to not drink next year. I can just make myself a resolution to not drink today, It's really helpful to me. It really does. My dad tried to give me his 24-hour chip, and he's like, here, I carry this one in my wallet. Do you want it, to remind yourself? And I'm like, no, man, I got one on my keychain because I heard you tell me that. You told me you kept one in your pocket or your wallet to remind you that all you got is this span of while you're awake, So that was really important to me, is that idea that this is all I have is right now. But I guess but when I was drinking, yeah, it was just super profound. Like I was just really tied into it, man. It's beyond tied into it. It was just me. It was like we were symbiotic. It was like my symbiotic, what do they call that? Extra twin you're growing inside of your gut, and they cut it out, and it's a tumor with hair in it, an eyeball or something.
His name was Evan Williams.
His name was Evan Williams, or Jim Beam, right? Like,
never Jack Daniels.
Too broke. Oh God, Jack Daniels is disgusting. I don't care if Frank Sinatra drank it. Ugh.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I would have totally drank it if you had it. Or like Black Velvet. Yeah, but anyhow, it was so much a part of who I was. Yeah, man.
It was. I think I've told you this.
Psychologically.
I told you this before, and I remember when you first had, I said when your wife gave birth, and you had the new baby, and I remember talking to Coda, and I said something like, "Oh man, it's fucking, how's he gonna have?" I think maybe I was joking about it, but I was like, "Is Jerry gonna have money for whiskey and cigarettes?" And he's like, "Don't worry, he'll find a way."
I will find a way. Y'all sent me a picture of you guys cheering me, giving me cheers from the bar the day she was born. Like, congratulations, you had a baby. Mm-hmm. Y'all sent me a picture of that.
I don't remember that. I mean, obviously not. I was drunk.
You guys were all at People's Pub, but I remember a girl I worked with asked me how drunk I was when my daughter was born, and I remember thinking that was so strange because I was like, I wasn't drunk at all when my daughter was born because I wasn't. Those are like the 2 days I took off. You know, I took like that week or two off.
Yeah,
maybe. Not entirely, but pardon my yawn. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give that to everybody, but not entirely. I still drank. I just didn't get drunk.
Yeah.
Like it was just always in my life, even if I knew I couldn't get drunk because something important was going to happen.
You could at least have a little something to take the edge off or to relax.
Yeah,
right?
dude. You know, just I don't know, man.
Well, what about you? What do you think this next year? Do you have any resolutions?
I got big plans, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna get my driver's license.
Congratulations! It's about time.
Yeah, my plan is to get my driver. I got two big plans. 2020 is my two big ones. I'm getting a vasectomy and a driver's license. Those are the two things.
That's all right.
I'm gonna get clipped and get the card. I'm gonna see my doctor on the 8th, and I'm like, yo, set me up with the full job down there.
That's awesome.
You got the full wax. You got the full fucking. I want the executive, whatever you guys call that. You know, the executive clean, the executive detail. I need that for my nuts. That and the license. That's like kind of the short term ones. I'd like to get a car eventually, but we are where we are.
Right.
I don't know, man. I like I said, I'd like to vow not to drink, but we'll see what happens. You know.
I think, one day at a time is not just a cliche. It's just everything in my life now I have to break down into little pieces because we do this thing as alcoholics, which it's the Reggie Watts shit fuck stack.
Yeah.
And we start stacking and my girlfriend reminds me of this when I start to doing it. She says, it sounds like you're shit fuck stacking. Like, what's the real problem right now? Like, what's bothering you? And so I feel like one day at a time. Okay, so one bill at a time. So one shift at a time, and all that stuff. One page at a time, and break it down into smaller doses so that I don't feel overwhelmed because I can accomplish a lot. I have accomplished a lot in the last 4.5 years, but I've only ever done it one day at a time. You know what I mean? It's
right. Regardless of that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's an invaluable tool for anything you want to accomplish, like not just getting sober, not just staying sober. I mean, if that's where you're at, because I've been there where I'm like, I just need to get through this fucking day. Like those early days are not forgotten. Just like hiding in this room and drinking big bottles of Crystal Geyser lime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And eating fucking Ben and Jerry's or whatever. I don't know. What was your food substitute in the beginning? In the early days, did you have
Rock Stars? I drank a shitload of Rock Star and cigarettes.
Yeah, Rock Stars and
cigarettes. There wasn't like
cigarettes.
a food thing. It was just Rock Star energy drinks and cigarettes, and then lots of cigarettes. And then, I'd buy like those like lime flavored club sodas and mix them with sugar. Mm-hmm. I'd make my own little sodas. I don't know why, instead of just buying sodas. I don't know why I didn't buy Cokes or Sprites. I just would mix them that way. But so many I would drink like way more caffeine than anybody should be drinking during the day. And I was so fucking banged out on like getting sober that I didn't even notice that I was just shivering the entire time, Yeah. Now I can't even drink a Rock Star. I'll die. I literally will fucking shit and die.
Yeah. I think coffee's fine. Do you think you'll ever give up coffee?
No, I love coffee, man. And no, I love it. And my heart rate's good. My blood pressure's good. I mean, at least the Fitbit tells me my resting heart rate is really good according to the Fitbit. It's excellent for a man my age. So I know the coffee's not affecting me too negatively. I don't know. I'm going to see my doctor on the 8th, and maybe she's like, "Y'all got to give this shit up. That's why you're getting chest pains or whatever." But,
No. I mean, I'm straight up with my doctor. I was like, well, I have like 4 cups in the morning. Like I have 4.
I remember the doctor telling you had to quit, and you were like trying to find ways around it. Is this whole running and eating healthy just a really fucking long, elaborate plan to not give up coffee?
I mean, that's
like you get your weight down, so your your blood pressure goes down, so you're like, fuck yeah, I will have the large trough.
Basically, I think so. I mean, that's part of it. But then there's the part of it that's like, well, I didn't want to be beholden. Like I quit smoking shortly after I quit drinking, right? But because I didn't want to be beholden to alcohol or to cigarettes, or like caffeine is this other drug, and maybe it's a little more socially acceptable, and maybe it's not hurting anyone necessarily, but does there come a point in my life where I don't want to be beholden to this thing in the morning where I'm like, I have to drag my ass to the coffee machine,
Yeah.
Like if I just got it out of my system, right? Wouldn't I ultimately at some point just wake up normally and feel fine and refreshed? And
yeah, you would. You absolutely would. It would take a little while. You have to go through withdrawal, and that withdrawal is going to be a fucking asshole. But but it depends on like the way I'm looking at it now is if I don't feel like it's a detriment to my health or my mental well-being, I'm okay with it. Like caffeine works right now for me.
Yeah.
No. Nicotine, as far as vaping goes, that is working for me. Yeah, I think I smoked for about a year after I got sober, and then I quit in like 2015. But I was always kind of vaping anyway. I was cigarette smoking and vaping, trying to like get from one to the other, and then I just transitioned completely in like 2015. My wife hasn't smoked a cigarette in a year because she's just been vaping. Yeah. And she's vaping on this little tiny thing that I've been vaping on. We're not blowing these crazy fucking competition clouds anymore. I mean, I used to blow these huge clouds, but now it's just a quick hit of nicotine,
I do.
I wish I didn't have these vices. Yeah, I know. You smoked. We smoked together for years. I wish I didn't have these vices, though. But I like you said, one day at a time, one step at a time. When I decide it's time for me to quit nicotine, then I'll quit. When it's time for me to quit coffee, I'll quit. Or I don't. And these are the habits I carry with me till I die. I don't know.
I think there'll come a point where you're going to be like, yeah, I don't really need this anymore. Because
I think so too. Yeah.
I've joked in the past about like, hey man, did you hear the news about the vaping? Like, bro. But it doesn't, I think just like alcohol, it doesn't do you any good or me any good to be like, hey man, it's not really good for you. You really gotta knock that off. Like, cause that doesn't resonate with anybody.
Nah. I'm like, yeah, I know it's not good for me. That's why I'm doing it.
But
I think it's cool.
But I think that
I don't even think it's cool because vaping doesn't even look cool. You just look like a dude who's vaping.
But I think at some point you'll be like, oh, it's time to let this go,
Yeah.
And I think I'll probably do the same thing with coffee at some point.
If I could quit booze and then a few years later lose 50 pounds and start running and shit, I can give up nicotine.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
You should
quit
sign up.
Any time, man. I could quit any time.
You should sign up for a race, Jerry.
Nah, I don't want to do that. I'm not ready for that. Maybe that'll be my goal for 2020 is to get ready for a race in 2021.
Well, I mean, you just you sign up for one in August or something, and then you have 9 months. That's what I did with the November. I signed up in March, and I was like, okay, I paid the money. I signed up. I was like, you got fucking 9 months, John. And that's what I did. I mean, you don't have...
I don't know. I walk 5 miles today. Oh, jeez. I hope that didn't come over.
Well, you could probably do a 10K then, which is 6 miles.
Yeah.
I'm not busting your balls. I just think...
No, yeah.
Really
and me. I'm so much... You're like, you should do it. And I'm like, yeah, I got you, John. And then I just don't. I'm like, whatever, dude.
This is like when Jerry and I live together, guys. So... One of my favorite lines, and I think this is indicative not only of, being young and fucking drunk and, I don't want to say that we were lazy people, but I think that you and I really enjoyed shirking our responsibilities, even as small as they might have been.
Who wants to do responsibilities? Responsibilities are dumb.
But I'd be like, Jerry, are you going to do your dishes? Because it wouldn't be anyone else's. It would just be like his dishes, right? And so I'd say, you're going to do your dishes? You do that? Yeah, I'll do them right now in a little while. And I was like, so I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what is that? What is right now in a little while mean, right?
It's magic, dude. Don't even
and
worry
so,
about it.
And then I was like, so finally it was like, is it right now in a little while or is it right now? And so it was always this funny thing about like, well, I don't want to do it right now in a little while. And I think that was I think that shirking of responsibility came with the excessive alcohol abuse.
Well, yeah, I was still hungover to wash the dishes. Fuck that.
Because now
I'll do it right now. Don't worry. Right, you want it right now or right now? Yeah, Coda all the time too. Would be like, yeah, how about right now instead of just right now? You fucking asshole. Like, yeah.
But
so now I'm
like,
looking at my phone, dude. I did 5.25 miles in an hour and 15 minutes, which isn't great time. But it's not a bad time either, though. I ran 5 miles an hour.
That's pretty good, man.
And then we'll figure this out off podcast, but I'm having the most difficult time trying to figure out what pace is, but we'll talk about that later. I think pace is my stride, but
That's just your average.
Fuck do I want to know about my stride? I don't care about my stride.
Well, like I'll today I got under 10 minutes a mile.
I saw that. Is that your pace then?
That's my pace was like 9:42 or something, but
that's great.
That was really great. Now I don't always feel that way, and I don't always like. That's something that's a very. Like that's
You're
after
greased up today.
Yeah, I was, and I was
rested.
Greasy
old motherfucker out there.
I did my little stretches.
Hell yeah.
So.
Yeah, you stretch before you run, right? I
do a little bit.
10 minutes before I run. I stretch for like 10, 11 minutes. I do kinetic too. Maybe I'll send you a link to this thing.
I like to stretch while I'm running. I'll stop and do it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I stop at stoplights and shit.
Movement stretches 10 minutes and then I just go. Oh, that's not a bad idea at the stoplight. Sometimes I have to stretch my back though because it's all fucked from tattooing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, whatever. Just the stoplight. If I see it, I think I told you this. If I see a park bench, I'll do some fucking push-ups on the park bench.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I admire it. I mean, you're giving somebody a little show,
right?
So that's good.
But it's like, it's the other thing you were talking about before about feeling self-conscious or something about taking a selfie. And I used to feel like, do I just look like one of those asshole runners who's out here stretching and doing push-ups? And it's like, I don't really fucking care because I'm not going to see any of these people.
Right, and who's calling you the asshole runner in their car? You know what I mean? Like, they're feeling like shit, and they're like, look at that asshole.
Mm-hmm. Ruining my day. And I'm like...
Ruining my day by fucking stretching. What an asshole.
So, and I know because I've been that guy. And it's, I don't know, man. I just, it feels fucking great. And that's the bottom line, But... It feels a lot better than being hungover.
Yeah. You got New Year's plans? You doing New Year's stuff? You and Rashida?
I am currently not working.
Oakland?
Maybe. Mm-hmm. Well, she sometimes gets gigs to go sing or do like a MC thing, but but no New Year's plans. Which this is when this podcast will be coming out when you guys hear this. But I think I don't know. I mean, we'll probably be up around midnight. We'll get some sparkling Martinellis or a LaCroix and just
nice LaCroix.
Say cheers and ring in the new year, and that'll be it, man.
That's what we do, yeah. That's the exact same thing. Me, wife, kid. I don't have cable anymore, so we'll have to watch the ball drop. We have to find a streaming. Yeah, but that's fine. I think I don't know if we did that last year. I think we watched it on live TV, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I remember so many New Year's like in the past, like just what a mess.
Right, that's how I was asking, because this is the gauntlet of big drinking holidays is right now. This is our culture, right? These are our big gauntlet drinking holidays. It's like you go home, see your parents at Thanksgiving, they say some dumb shit about politics, and you get fucking hammered. Usually you get hammered the night before because you're back in town,
Right.
and you're like, oh, I'm home, so I'm going to go hit the old bars, maybe see that girl I fucked around with in high school or college or whatever, maybe see that boy that I thought was hella hot, and then everybody's a fucking train wreck. And then go home, do some awful shit with your family. Yeah.
Do it on Christmas.
Value. Then it's Christmas, and then everybody gets shit canned on Christmas, too, because it's Christmas. I mean, we went to my wife's school Christmas party, and there's, because some of them get a little loose, like we went to her Windermere fucking, not, her realty company Christmas party. A couple of them got loose, like it's that time of year. 4th of July is... That's when, I mean, not 4th of July, New Year's Eve, which is the 4th of July of winter.
Yes, it is, basically.
That's when you really crack the top on that motherfucker. You know what? I'm going to make a meeting probably that day. Those New Year's Eve meetings are fucking rad.
That's a great idea.
Super Bowl Sunday, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve is some dope fucking meetings, actually.
And they do them, at least the ones here, they do them like on the hour every hour for like 2 days straight.
Oh, really?
So like if you're...
Eugene's not progressive like that, man.
So if it's like midnight and you don't want to be somewhere where they're pouring booze, you can go and you can go sit in a meeting. And I think a lot of places do that. Maybe not in Eugene. There might be one. I don't know. But
I bet you there is. I bet you like Jesco Club down in the Whitaker does it. But man, I don't really go to Jesco Club meetings.
A little sketchy.
There's nothing wrong with them. It's too far away to park.
Okay.
It's too hard to fucking park.
But I think a meeting's a good thing. I think having that. I'm not going to be surrounded by anybody where I'm concerned about whether or not I'll drink.
Right. They're not going to be like, neck it down, you fucking pussy. Come on. If people are doing that to you, man, you need to tell that person to hit the bricks,
Excuse me, sir. It's time for you to go.
Hit the bricks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not really my issue. I would say to anybody who is in that situation and is concerned about their sobriety that just walk away. Just leave it alone, man.
It sounds so Nancy Reagan, but it's the truth. Just say no.
Just say no.
Away. But you know what? If you're in early sobriety and you make it through New Year's without drinking, you go to a social event and make it through New Year's without drinking, that's a hell of an accomplishment. Because you're basically doing the opposite of what your brain is trying to make you fucking do. Yeah. That's badass. Yeah, that fucking deserves some props. Like I'm just not drinking every day deserves props. But especially those big box drinking days, you know what I mean? The big ones where they're like, culturally, this is when we're supposed to drink. All summer, you're supposed to be just pounding shandies and waking up with a fucking headache. Yeah. Taking a titty out and shitting your pants. Yeah, it's summer. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, that's what they tell us we're supposed to do. And I just have always even when I drank, I resented that shit. Like, just being told, like, this will make your summer better. I'm like, hell no, I'm here because I fucking apparently love being in hell. That's why I'm here.
Right. Yeah. And I will tell you, as a bartender, as somebody who's bartended several New Year's Eves in a place that kind of had like a club atmosphere.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Like there's no, it's just awful.
Yeah,
it's just
dude.
awful. And everybody's awful and everybody's drunk and everybody's needy and nobody has a good time. You know what I mean? And even for those people who drink, like it's a terrible day to go out.
Yeah.
So
you're just trying so hard to show everybody what a good time you're having. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's the appearance of we're having such a great time. So yeah, I think me and the wife are gonna hang out. I might, we didn't get it this year, but usually her dad for Christmas will send us like one of those steak gift boxes. Can't remember that name. Omaha Steaks or whatever. We didn't get it this year. He didn't send it, but usually they'll send it. It'll be like 2 frozen lobster tails and 2 steaks, and I'm like, let's fuck with this. So I might go buy a crab or something.
Yeah.
Yo, baby, Happy New Year's. It's a crab, or some mussels or something. I'll make some seafood for dinner.
Yeah, do something. Make a nice dinner and enjoy a nice movie, or just kind of. I mean, I'm just looking forward to like that day, like the next day after, like getting up in the morning, going for a run. It's going to be quiet. Everyone's going to be indoors, hungover.
Yeah.
It's good day off, sleeping in, all that kind of stuff. And I love to go out, and go out on a run and have that be like the first thing that I do in the year.
It's gonna be fucking cold though here, but yeah.
But I know that these numbers are all man-made, and I know that, what's a date and what does it matter, but it feels good to kind of like start fresh,
Yeah.
It feels good to kind of go like, okay, and put some intention behind the things that I want to do and the things, how I want to be and how the habits that I want to form, I think I'm going to go through my shit in my house, and I'm going to move some stuff around. I'm probably going to lose some books. You want some Kurt Vonnegut paperbacks?
Which ones?
I don't know.
Send me a text. Show me which ones.
Okay.
Because I'll take them if they're the ones I don't have. If they're shit I already have, I won't take them. But I'm actually pretty short on my Kurt Vonnegut. I'd like some more. So.
But I've been shedding books a lot lately, and for some reason I don't want to give up the Bukowski. I don't know what that.
No, I have a
fascination
whole
is.
fucking stack of Trucks books, dude, or of Bukes books, dude. But I just.
Do you even read them?
Man.
Do you read them anymore?
Sometimes I do. I'll go through and find a poem I like because I dog ear them on all the poems I like, and sometimes I'm like, I'm in the mood for a little weirdness,
Mm-hmm. But I think I'm gonna do some purging, some cleaning, and just try to start fresh for the new year. Get rid of some more clothes. I have this thing where nothing fits anymore, Jerry.
Yeah, dude. I learned how to sew. So I've been tailoring all my old clothes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you knew how to sew.
In this podcast studio of mine, there's a sewing.
Can I send you a few shirts too? I need some.
No, because I hate it. I hate doing it.
Okay.
I like it, but I sew everything too small.
Right.
Because I always overestimate how small I am, and then I put it back. I ruined a couple of really nice shirts, but I've made a couple of hoodies really cool. So, yeah.
Nice.
Send them to Megan. She'll sew them. She knows how to sew too. She's the one who taught me how to sew.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know that I'll ask your wife to tailor my clothes, but I don't know.
It. Just send her a check for $20.
Check for $20 and a couple of shirts.
Picture you with the toothpick, like, I think you can handle this for me.
Oh, how's she doing?
Tell you what, do the first 2 for free, and then I'll pay for the next 2. She's doing great. My wife's doing wonderful. She's she's excited to be on winter break. She's learning the ukulele. She's taking ukulele lessons. Olive got a drum set for Christmas. That's pretty wild. We set it. I just pushed all that shit in her room. I gave her parts of my old drum kit, and so now she's got that all in her room, so she can shut the door because I don't really want to hear her playing the drums.
You guys didn't jam together?
A little bit.
Not
too much, just enough. Yeah, sorry, I had to yawn that one out. But yeah, she's adorable, man. She's trying to figure it out. My dog's an asshole. My cat's cool. My dog would bark at my dad every 5 minutes while he was here. I was just like, yo, Coco, shut the fuck up, dude. It's the same man. Just because he gets up and goes to the bathroom and comes back, it's not a different man. It's the same man.
That's that cyclical thinking, man. He's
just a turd brain. I'm just like, come on, dude. Okay, so he got up, went into the back room, changed his shirt, and came out. It's the same man. He smells the same. Like, you have a nose. Like, you can smell him. You fucking dingus.
I don't think you should hold on to this resentment toward the dog for too long.
I gotta 4-step this stupid dog. Today, Megan is like, so will you stop talking shit to the dog? I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, dude, because Olive sees you talking shit to the dog, and it makes her feel bad, and also she makes her want to talk shit to the dog. And I'm like, well, he's a shitty dog, but okay. She's right, so I stopped talking shit to the dog. She was absolutely right. I was like, okay. But on the podcast, I can be like, fuck that dog. But when I'm in front of Olive, I can't be like that. I have to be cool. And
that's good. You can let it out here. That's fine.
Oh, this is a safe place.
This
Nah,
is.
he's all right. He's a good boy. He's just
No.
he's just dumb as hell, dude.
Yeah. So I have another piece of...
That'll get us an email. They'll be like, Jerry, how dare you hate dogs?
How
what the
dare
fuck?
you? You don't hate the dog. You just wish he was...
Not barking all the time. That's all. Honestly, that's it. Just don't eat my socks and don't bark, and we're fucking aces, dude. Bark when you need to bark. Like if someone come in the house to steal my shit, bark. But don't bark at me because I've left the room and I came back.
With another shirt on.
What the fuck's wrong with? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to read you one more, and this is from Tatyana C. And this says, "Good evening, John and Jerry. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you again for your podcast. There have been some really great episodes this year. John, your episode with your mother was beautiful and impactful, and I hope it came with some healing. Jerry, you have given me several aha moments, or maybe more accurately, oh shit, I am totally doing that moments. Your willingness to be vulnerable on the podcast, even though vulnerability isn't your thing, is truly appreciated. Speaking of vulnerability, it's my turn to call myself out. I have not donated because I don't understand Patreon. I thought I would mention it in case I wasn't the only one, and an explanation would help more than just me. Thanks again for all you two do. Your sober sister, Tatyana."
Word. First of all, before you explain it, you don't have to donate.
No.
You don't. They're in no way obligated. Like,
No.
We just want you to listen to this and, I don't know, just witness us. Witness us.
Yeah.
We're two middle-aged men.
I think
I just want to throw that preemptively in there.
Yes.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
my hope and my goal is that, and I've said this before, but it bears repeating before I go into my fucking spiel. The thing that I think that Jerry and I have is this friendship of like 20 years. Jesus,
it's been a
longer.
long-ass time.
It's been since 1996 I've known you.
Right.
So it's been like 24 years. Jesus.
Yeah.
So 24 years, most of those drunk, and then
Yeah, I was going to say your consolation prize is crippling alcoholism. You're welcome.
we certainly enabled each other, prompted each other. But I think with that history and with that, I mean, there was a pretty deep bond, although fractured in many ways, but and just having that friendship, and then Jerry getting sober, and then me being able to do that too, and not, I mean, Buck, at that point when you got sober and I was still drinking, there was no reason to think that I was going to come around.
Nah.
Right?
Nah.
I mean, I would call you up every once in a while and just kind of be annoying, and
You just wild out, and then I'd fucking hang up.
basically, yeah. And so, but to be able to like get sober and to be able to have these conversations and to talk with you and to just kind of be straight up about it and not have, like, there's no agenda here. There's no,
we don't want money.
No.
I mean,
I do.
you're going to give us money. We set up a Patreon page, so I guess we want some money.
So, and I just want to, so that being said, that was the whole purpose, was that I find value in the conversations I have with you, and I think that other
Word.
people will too. So the Patreon page is something that helps support the subscription fees for this. When I go and I do interviews with people, it's gas money. It's the subscription fees for all the other podcasts that I do in our network. When I do ultimately find somebody to publish this book, that's going to be another thing that I'm going to be promoting on there. And Patreon is just a way for you to be a part of it, just for you to, even if it's just $1 one time, that's fine, And so it's patreon.com/AIFA. And you can go there and you can either do it per show, you can do it per month, you can do it for a one-time thing. It's super simple. I think I have a couple of tiers. I got like Sober Bros and Sober Pals or something corny up there. But
Sober Bros.
But it's just a way to, and the thing that you do get with that, there's several shows that Jerry and I have done specifically for the Patreon that is not on this podcast feed, and that includes all the movie reviews that we've done. So basically, we take a movie and something that revolves around alcoholism or recovery or both, and we just kind of give our reviews from that perspective. We did I think the last one we did was The Shining, and that was great. Which so that's available on the Patreon page. And so that we do those. So I think we did one for prohibition, and there's some other things that don't fit within the alphabet structure. But and for a buck, and you can get access to all those things. So if that's
less than a cup of coffee a day.
Hey, there you go. So if that's something that you ultimately, I think that Jerry and I would like to do something like go to Ohio and maybe go to Founders Day and check that shit out. And so we'll probably put something on there to kind of help, offset the cost of travel and things like that. So that's basically it. And there's no obligation from anybody. I appreciate it. I'm always fucking just floored when they go, oh, you've got a few dollars this month, and it's great. So, yeah, Patreon.com.
We appreciate the donations. Oh, I didn't mean to talk
That's
over
okay.
right when you were saying it. Go ahead and say it.
Patreon.com/AIFA. That's all.
We appreciate the donations. Yeah.
So,
I don't see any of it. I just sit in this room here and say things.
That's
John over there has got like a mink coat on.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice beaver felt hat.
Something like that. It is cold.
It's got those fancy Warby Parker frames on.
Oh man. No, I got the I think
I
I might need
Warby Parkers right
I think I might need some glasses, speaking of which, to see far away. I don't know, I'm getting old. But
get them. They're good for you.
That's basically it, man.
That's it. You got anything you want to plug as far as what are you into? Let's end it with that. What's your jam right now?
What's my jam right now?
Yeah, just give me like 3 things.
I'll give you
Or give me more if you want to.
Well, I started messing around with TikTok, which I know seems ridiculous, but
you've been sending me shit. Yeah.
It's just funny and it's silly and it's not political. Well, there's some stuff on there, but it's just a video editing app where people can share stuff. And so my TikTok is SonicJohn000, just like my Instagram. I'm doing that. I don't know, man. Getting this book off the ground, and what's my jam? What have I been listening to? I haven't been listening to much of any new music. I always just find random songs on Spotify playlists and
same here.
Kind of put those together. Let's see, podcasts. There's a great podcast called The Anthropocene Reviewed, and Anthropocene is the time at which humans have been around on the. It's kind of like the Jurassic era. This is the Anthropocene era that we're in, and it's the guy. Yeah. Do you know Hank Green and John Green, the author and YouTuber? Anyhow, it's a really cool. I'm going to send you one of these. It's a cool podcast.
Send me one, yeah.
Where he takes a couple of things and he's like rates the human experience on a 5-star review. Like one of them was the Taco Bell 99-cent menu and electric cars. And then he just talks about them and he writes these essays. And they're really beautiful, and he's got this very somber way of talking, and so I would say the Anthropocene Reviewed is something that I really am looking forward to listening to.
Send it over.
What about you? What's your jam?
My jam right now, we're watching The Witcher.
How is it?
Netflix is fucking dope.
Okay.
Plus, The Witcher game is fucking dope. I've been playing the BioShock collection. That's my jam right now. And yeah, back on the BioShock, back in Rapture. Just finished the first one tonight, actually, right before the podcast. And then music-wise, we've been y'all should check out Orville Peck. Listen to Orville Peck.
Orville Peck, is that like some of that alt country vibe?
He's dope, dude. He's like Chris Isaac, but he wears like a shower curtain, or he wears like a fringe over his. He wears a mask that has really long fringe and a cowboy hat. He's a gay country singer from Canada.
Okay, Orville Peck.
Orville Peck's dope. And podcast-wise, I've been doing Daily Zeitgeist and Behind the Bastards. And then a group of friends of mine from Arizona are doing one called Harmless Phosphorescence. That's fucking great.
What do they talk about?
Movies.
Okay.
But it's funny. Like, they take apart, like, Marvel movies, or, like, they're doing all superheroes. But, like, any genre of superhero. Like, they just did The Toxic Avenger, Howard the Duck. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like corny, cheesy fucking movies. They're not quite getting into the Marvel ones yet. And I think they're doing them all in order from like the first instance of a superhero movie. And like my friend Josh Cece and his wife just did Elf, which is not a superhero movie, but I guess Will Ferrell's Elf did have superpowers,
He did, didn't he?
He's throwing snowballs super fast, so he's got that. You can decorate a store really well, really quickly.
That's important at Christmas time.
Right. I don't know. That's about it. I mean, I've been listening to the last podcast on the left. A lot of crime podcasts. But yeah, watching The Witcher. Watched, the other one we watched was Reprisal on Hulu. It was really good too. I like corny shit, man. Like TV shows, like I'll totally watch over-the-top weird corny shit. I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't.
I don't know what got broken in my house.
Did
but
you just
hopefully
hear
that came
something?
through Yeah, I was just like... They're out there like having a wrestling match. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Keep it down out there.
Keep it down. Daddy's talking about alcoholism.
I'll see you next year.
See you next year, buddy. All right. Later.
Thanks again for listening. Our music, as always, is by Neglect. You can find more of his stuff at neglect.bandcamp.com.
And you can find us on all social media platforms that matter. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can reach us at aisforalcoholic@gmail.com.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.